Welcome to the Nerdist Podcast number 818. This episode brought to you by Audible.com. If you have listened to a book, Kyle Clark. Mm-hmm. You've probably done it from Audible.com. They have audiobooks from the leading audio publishers, broadcasters, entertainers, magazines, newspaper publishers, business information providers. You can catch up on all the hot new books you've been meaning to read while you're on your daily commute, but it's not safe to read while you're texting and driving.
Ah, okay.
What have you listened to lately that you like?
I just started the new Stephen King book, the End of Watch. It's the third part in that trilogy that's like kind of grounded stuff. It's really good.
You, as a Nerdist Podcast listener, get a free 30-day trial membership. Go to audible.com/Nerdist and check it out. You may actually already be a subscriber.
And let me tell you something. It's way more effective than just holding a paperback book up to your ear.
And less expensive than finding someone on the street and paying them to get into your car and read to you.
Although sometimes that's how you meet your best friend.
I guess that's true.
Or book slave.
or murderer.
Ooh.
What?
I don't want to get killed by a person reading me a book. It's like the worst bedtime story.
Do you want
bedtime for death?
You should write that.
No, it would be good.
All right. Thanks to Audible for sponsoring this episode of Nerdist Podcast.
Thanks, Audible.
Which is our first show from San Diego Comic-Con.
What?
Which was fantastic. Thank you if you come out every year. People coming out to the Balboa to see us. It's a beautiful theater. The crowds are amazing. Comic-Con was so much fun this year. That Marvel panel just blew me off the rails, man. Everything about
I sort of wish Santa Claus had just wandered out and just thrown the information to people.
I mean, the Black Panther cast and finding out that Taika Waititi is directing Thor Ragnarok.
The best thing ever.
Seeing all 9 minutes of Doctor Strange and having Benedict there and Tilda Swinton and everyone, and then seeing the Guardians footage was incredible.
So
and the Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
It's like a John Hughes movie.
They got us excited for another Spider-Man movie. They did it. They figured it out.
So excited to see all that stuff. So thank you if you came out. This episode was Tatiana Maslany of Orphan Black. And then also Danny McBride and Walton Goggins and Jody Hill, who are all on Vice Principals,
and
which
are
is on HBO.
Also national treasures.
Yes. Vice Principals is Sundays at 10 p.m. on HBO and HBO Go, HBO Now. And you can watch full episodes of Orphan Black on bbcamerica.com. Fantastic guests, good crowd, no complaints at all. Kyle Clark.
Good.
Where were you during
I had
Comic-Con?
a bunch of shows in L.A. that weekend that no one came to because everyone was at Comic-Con.
Yeah, that's a tough week to compete.
Turns out they'll book you when they're just like, hey, I think you're not going to Comic-Con. You want to do these shows.
Maybe you should send out invites, and maybe you should mail those out, and maybe if you wanted to mail those out, you should have a Stamps.com account.
Well
Kyle.
done,
Thank
sir.
you.
Bravo.
It doesn't really count if you point it out, Kyle. The segue doesn't really work.
I'm like that guy who reveals all the magician secrets.
Oh.
It's on Netflix. Have you been watching?
No.
They're so bad. It's the dumbest thing ever made. Like, it's mean and also poorly made, which is a real brutal combo.
What the magician does is bend his thumb and his index finger while pulling them apart and hiding it with his other.
You're nowhere near
finger.
condescending enough in your voice to be revealing magician secrets.
These magicians don't really got your nose. Stamps.com. Buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter or package right from your desk. Use your own computer. It's better than leasing a postage meter. That's expensive. You're going to have a multi-year commitment. There's hidden fees. Stamps.com is more powerful than a postage meter at a fraction of the cost. Save at least 50% as compared to a meter. And avoid the time-consuming trips to the post office. Right now, sign up for Stamps.com. Use the promo code Nerdist for this special offer. 4-week trial, $110 bonus offer, including postage and a digital scale. Don't wait. Go to Stamps.com before you do anything else. Click the microphone at the top of the homepage and type in Nerdist. That's Stamps.com. Enter the promo code Nerdist. Here's episode number 818, San Diego Comic-Con with Tatiana Maslany, Walton Goggins, Jody Hill, Danny McBride, Matt Mira, Jonah Ray, Katie Levine up in the balcony recording everything. Katie, please roll the thing.
Now entering Nerdist.com.
Hey guys.
Hey. This is my good friend Matt Mira, everybody.
And this is the new host of Mystery Science Theater 3000, Jonah Ray.
Thank you. I am skipping the Mystery Science Theater panel for you guys. So I've been fired and I'm looking for work.
Are you really skipping that panel? Is that happening now?
Yeah, but this is a standing engagement. Like, what is this, the 5th year we've done this?
700th year.
700th year doing this. We really appreciate it. And we're doing our annual riff and kill time until Chris gets here.
Yeah. Yeah, every year it gets tighter and tighter. He does panels until
Yeah,
now.
I agree, man. It does get tighter and tighter. No doubt about that, dog.
Is that Pussy Talking Jonah?
I don't know anymore. It's been so long.
What? If you have a question, I can answer it. How was Fish last night? Fucking awesome, bro. Oh my God.
That's my favorite Fish jam. I like it better than actual fish jam.
That's disgusting.
I know.
Just
How was that show? How was the Fish show?
It was my first Fish show.
Yeah?
I had never been before, and I said to my buddy Kula, I said, yeah, I'll go to Fish with you, not realizing it was the weekend of Comic-Con. So I drove to Comic-Con. I got here Wednesday. Thursday night, I was like, shit, that show is tomorrow. Do I want to deal with bullshit, the 5 traffic during the day? And the answer to that was no.
Right? We can all agree on the 5 being not good.
No, so I drove home Thursday night, and then I went to the Fish show Friday night, and then as soon as Fish was over at 12:35 in the morning,
They party hard, Fish.
They will play.
They will play till the next day, Fish.
Yeah, and Trey shows up on time for his shows. It was a great show. It was at the Forum, and then I drove down here and got in at 3:00 in the morning.
Nice. You know what you missed while you were gone?
What did I miss?
I went to a party.
Yeah.
And fucking Hodor was DJing at it. Hodor was playing some straight up EDM, hardcore EDM music. He has like a ton of tattoos. Hodor.
Really? I was not aware of it. Hodor, yeah.
Yes, you might know him from his Christian name, Hold the Door. But so Hodor is just, and people are going off. People just like jumping up and down. There's smoke coming from the ceiling, and then he like brings it down.
Wait.
Like, you know, the
There's
fog.
snow.
What?
Just fog? Snow.
It said smoke.
Didn't he say snow? I don't know what you're saying.
No.
So his fog's coming down from the ceiling.
Fog's coming down the
Hodor's
ceiling, people are going crazy, and then he does that thing where like the beat kind of drops down, and then like he gets on the microphone. I think he's like Danish or something like that.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, and then he's like, "We all having good time tonight," and then a bunch of people go, "Hodor!" And then he does this, and then turns the music back up, and that's the rest of his life.
Oh.
I say embrace it.
I just think it's fun that he has an extracurricular career.
That was his original career, it turns out.
Was he just?
Turns out he's been like a DJ, like a successful DJ for 20 years.
Oh, poor guy now, because that's now the rest of his life.
It's just being Hodor.
Hodor.
Man, what I would give to be a Hodor.
What? So you've been here since Wednesday?
Yeah, I got here Wednesday. I got to make a beer with Stone Brewing Company in San Diego for HopCon. Our buddy Will Wheaton has been doing it for years and years. Yeah, Will's a real beer nut. That guy.
Yeah.
Loves his beer, and so he put me in touch with them, and I got to make a Pog beer.
Pog's the fun game from the 90s.
No, my friend. Pog is a juice, passion orange guava juice, very popular in Hawaii, and that's where it got its name from, the game of Pogs, because it was the cap on the bottle of the juice. So people would use it, and that's why they're called Pogs.
What?
Yeah. This is some small kind Hawaiian history, brother.
Someone go on Snopes. I don't buy this.
It's gonna say true. Mostly true.
So how'd your beer turn out?
It turned out great. It tasted like Pog. It was a wheat beer. It was a 4.5 ABV, which means not too much alcohol in there. So, but everyone, and it was a real bummer because everyone's like, "This is great. You can have this for breakfast." And I was like, "Oh, that's sad."
But there are points in your life where that would have been totally awesome.
Beer for breakfast?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was yesterday. It was real awesome. I thought I'd try it. But it was a lot of fun. And Bobak from NASA, JPL.
From JPL.
JPL, but it's on the NASA campus. Is it not?
Snopes!
And he was there, and he made a beer. It was like a waffle and maple syrup beer. And I'll tell you this, he's good at space.
He's good at space.
He's good at space. But the motherfucker can't brew a beer. It was awful, and he admitted it. I was like, I haven't tried your beer yet. He's like, don't. And then he flashed me those pearly whites with that mohawk, and I said, I love you, spaceman.
Yeah. So, okay, so you had your beer, you brewed, you did that.
Yeah, that was Wednesday night. Got here on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then, I went to the Feral Audio podcast panel at Hall H. There was about that many people that clapped. That's how many people were there.
Is that true?
No, it's hard to say. Hall H is gigantic.
Yeah.
And it wasn't full, so it's hard to say if there was like 20 people there because it felt like that because that place is just a gigantic.
Well, it seats 7,000, so if there's 2,000 people, it's going to feel empty.
It wasn't 2,000.
Oh. It's probably like 5,000.
Yeah. But then I went to the Silicon Valley panel. Did anyone else go to that? Did anyone go to that? Man, that might have been one of the best comedy shows I've been to in a while. And
I'm sure.
And it really shows that Mike Judge is like not quick on his feet. Like he shows up late, and Kumail and Middleditch they're like, it's like, where were you? He's like, there was nothing. There was traffic. And then they're like, good one, Mike. Good one, comedy genius, coming out of the gate with, I don't know. But that was a fantastic panel. And then we had the Meltdown show last night. Anyone go to that one? It's been my busiest Comic-Con.
It's been my least busiest Comic-Con because I got to leave for an entire day to go to a Fish concert.
Yeah, man. Living the dream.
I had to go see my dog, say hello to Bo.
Yeah, start that fire.
Yep, I started a fire in Los Angeles.
You know what I'm missing tonight? I bought tickets right when they came out, not noticing it was the same date as Comic-Con. I'm missing Weird Al at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh, that was last night, too.
Yeah, last night, too. Real bummer.
I haven't seen him live since 2 tours ago, but it was as good as it was when I saw him in 1991.
He is the best.
He's ageless.
He is.
I feel like he sleeps in some sort of chamber.
Yeah.
That you only have access to if
you know what
Weird
it is?
Al. Yeah.
Healthy living.
No, it's not.
Vegetarian?
I don't understand.
He's a vegetarian?
What do you do with that? How does that work?
You don't eat meat?
I don't get it.
No, vegetarian.
That doesn't make any sense.
Like meat stuff. Animals?
Okay. No, let's say this. Okay, so you got a hamburger.
No.
You can eat that.
No, you can't eat the hamburger. But you can have it without the beef inside, the beef patty. That's the meat I was talking about earlier.
Well,
no meat.
You can have the meat.
No meat. Vegetables.
I don't understand
products.
this.
All right, let's start from the top.
Yep.
In the beginning, there was darkness and lightness.
I think you've started too far back.
What?
No.
Okay, I'll fast forward it. Cain said unto Abel.
Skip ahead.
Yep. Okay. Star Wars. Is that too far?
That's good. No, that's about right.
I tried to go a long time ago.
Vegetarianism started in the 70s.
Yes,
right?
it did.
As far as I know.
The hippies. Ooh. He's a good-looking guy, that Weird Al.
My wife and I have...
My wife.
We have been doing IVF.
What's that?
It's in vitro fertilization. We're trying to...
Hey! You're going to have a robot baby.
We're trying to make a baby.
I didn't know you guys were having threesomes with science.
Oh. It is hot and it is heavy.
And clinical as fuck.
Oh, it's we go to this place in like Brentwood, like this really fancy pants place. The problem, it's true. I jerk off a mile from the murder scene to make my baby.
Matt Myra, ladies and gentlemen.
But it's a very expensive location. And
sometimes it's Rockingham, sometimes it's Bundy.
Figure it out. But we had to do it because my wife, she's 39. She's 39. She's 39 years old. So she was worried, like, oh my God, maybe we haven't gotten pregnant the natural way because of me. And I was
What's the natural way, Matt?
when a man loves a woman,
Start further back.
they eat meat.
Yay.
If you catch my drift.
Ooh.
No, but so like we were like she was like insistent that it's me. I'm 39. I'm old. My eggs are old. I was like, it's not you. I guarantee you, it's Chubby McGee, this guy.
Wait, is that you or him?
Ding. So no, but it was like so. She's like, okay, we got to figure this out. So we go to a specialist doctor who will then recommend what it is we should do. And so I have to go get tested. She gets to everything. With her is great. She's perfectly healthy. Her uterus is that of a 27-year-old. So I'm like, fuck yeah.
Dog. Yeah.
And then I got a call from my urologist, Dr. Kim, and he goes, hey Matt, we got the results.
Oh boy.
I'm like, all right. He goes, your sperm count is 1 million, and I go, fuck yeah, it's 1 million.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And then he goes, normal is between 80 and 120 million.
Oh, buddy. Wow, Matt. That's a big difference, Matt.
It's huge.
That's a big difference.
It's insane.
Because like 1 million, that's like a lot. There's not even 1 million people here.
Yeah. So like
But
when
to
you
add
hear
that by how much-
1 million of anything, you're like, I have so much fucking sperm.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I could tell too.
And then he's like, but normal is 80 to 120 million.
Why don't our dicks explode when we come then?
It just doesn't make any sense.
It just seems like that happens. They just go, Prah!
Ah! That's them escaping.
I'm going to make you a shirt that says 1 million ain't bad, baby.
So it turns out it's me. I was right. And we have to
How did your Catholic guilt deal with the fact that it was your fault?
Well, it was my Catholic guilt versus her Jewish guilt, right?
Oh, man.
It's like Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
I'm like, both these teams are full of a lot of talent, and I don't know who I'm going to pick.
Yeah.
There's no right side, just that there is one God. No, but it was like, you have to do this thing called ICSI.
Sounds gross.
It is icky. But they literally will take one little guy, one sperm cell.
1 out of 1 million.
And just shove it in the egg with like a needle.
Wow, so it's still kind of like sex.
With a tiny needle.
Do they light candles before they do this?
You know, what's interesting, so we go to this place in Brentwood, and it's like very fancy, like frosted glass, thick walls, and like everything's like very clean, and it's like this new. It's like you're on a spaceship to make a baby in a lab.
Yeah.
And then everything's wonderful, except when they say, "Okay, Matt, right in here," and they take you to the jerk-off room, where you have to produce a sample, and
is that the clinical term for it?
I don't know what it's called. It should be called the shit room, because you open a drawer and the porn magazines are stacked so high, and they are in worse shape than the ones I would find in the woods as a kid.
Yeah. Now, what's a magazine? Magazine? Is that
it's the internet printed out and bound together?
That's a great idea.
Yeah. But they're terrible. And then I'm like, okay, I'm not going to touch those. I slide that drawer closed. I pull open the bottom drawer, which is full of DVDs, and the titles in this place, I had my choice of 9 Anal Titans movies.
Wait.
Yep.
So, Anal Titans.
Volume 1.
Through
9.
I mean, after 6, it's like they're not that good. They kind of mess up the.
And there's like
story.
one chair with like a pad on it that you would put down for your puppy if you're training.
Hold up.
Yep.
Only anal?
It was insane. It was like disgusting pornography. So it was like Anal Titans and then like Choke Masters 7.
That's my favorite Robert Englund movie.
So it's just like
So what'd you do?
I brought my phone.
Yeah.
because I can access the internet.
To take some selfies
You'd
and then
think
just
with
jerk off to that.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. It was like I would take a picture of all the Anal Titans movies and send them to my wife and say, "This is what I'm working with today."
And then she says, "Ooh, 3."
But it was good. So we just finished this whole process last week. So out of her we got 18 eggs.
Yeah.
Which is good for her being 39, and then 15 of them were mature. And then from there it goes down to like 12 of them fertilized, even though they... And then...
Not done yet.
Of those, you have to get to like day 6 or day 5, blastocyst is what they call it.
Blasts.
Blast. So we got 4 out of that. The whole kit and caboodle.
So you got 4.
We have 4 that are being genetically tested, and then we're going to pick the best one, and that's going to go in.
This is so romantic. Oh my God, the miracle.
But it's just
That's incredible. You feel good about it?
I feel we'll find out about the results next week, because it could be like, oh, this one, you don't want this one.
Yeah. This one is going to be a racist, so you might want to avoid that egg.
This one, I got to tell you, this one definitely from Boston.
It's
that's the
got
racist
a backwards baseball cap.
But it's like, and then we're talking about like, oh, do we want to go boy girl? What do we want to do there? How many do we want to implant into my wife? And I'm like, you're carrying them. You can do whatever you want. If you want 1, go for it. 2,
Yeah. 3. Well,
no.
4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you got to figure 4 in there.
So what kind of dad you going to be?
The coolest dad in the world.
Those are usually the worst dads.
Oh, no.
Those are real bad dads, those guys.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, I'll be at your birthday party, but I agreed to go to this Fish concert.
Don't worry, I'll bring you a souvenir.
It's a lollipop made of weed, bro.
Hey, man. Cool dad.
No, I think I'll be a decent dad.
Yeah?
I've had...
I don't know.
Oh.
You really...
I'm listening. Okay, go ahead, Jonah. Whatever. We're in a safe space.
We are. We're here with friends. Now, I want everyone to be honest.
Uh-huh.
Clap if you think Matt's going to be a good dad.
Wait, did someone...
There's some bonobos here.
I heard someone go whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Are you with the ICP, sir? Whoop, whoop. That's their...
That's their thing?
Yeah.
ICP?
Yep. I only know that from Howard Stern.
Are you down with ICP?
I enjoy every gathering of all the juggalos.
Yeah. What if your kid...
Oh, no.
What if your kid... being a dad means love unconditionally. We all know that.
We all know that. We all read that?
Yeah.
We all agree? Okay.
What if your kid turns out to be like a juggalo?
Turns out to be like a juggalo or a juggalo.
Well, I did imagine there's going to be some new iteration of juggalo by the time this kid is
of
getting
age.
into music.
I don't...
A juggalo. Matt?
Yeah.
A juggalo.
I don't... Like, what? Define unconditional love.
You're going to be a great dad.
I have a lot of conditions. I was like, it was funny because like I was talking, my wife is also left-handed, and I was like, what are the chances of getting a left-handed child out of this? Because these guitars got to go to somebody.
Yeah, because they're not being used now.
I play them.
Yeah.
Not well.
Now, what do you think? So the room that you have all your guitars in, isn't that where the baby room would be?
No, we're gonna make Dory's office the baby room.
Patriarchy at work here. She's the one that works from home.
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't?
No.
Doesn't she write books?
Yeah.
We haven't talked in a long time,
Matt. In the morning.
So I hear you're married.
Yeah, I'm married, Jonah. I did. My wife wrote a book, and it comes out in April. She wrote a novel.
That's great.
Yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Startup, and it comes out
Hold on.
Yes.
A text from...
Chris Hardwick? What is he saying?
Almost there.
What does that mean? What does that even mean?
He's jerking off.
Try Anal Titan 7, Chris.
Yeah.
Trust me. Act 2 is amazing.
Yeah. Well, I really like it.
It's the TARDIS of anuses. It's bigger on the inside. Here. Here.
You really had to spell it out for people.
I was spelling it out for the character of Jonah.
You know what? There is this will be if he's almost here. Let's take a couple questions because usually.
We can get real about shit.
We can
guys.
get real.
Do you have any questions about Chris Hardwick? We can answer them.
Actually, for our safety, don't ask any questions about Chris Hardwick.
Ask anything you want.
Ask anything you want.
Nope. Well, okay, you can't all ask at the same time.
Make eye contact before you speak with each other.
What about Jenny McCarthy? Did he fuck her? Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, you work together that long, it's bound to happen, right?
I don't know. I think that's why he has some issues with her.
What has Boston Batman? Oh my God, I forgot about Boston Batman.
Man.
Which of us was Boston Batman? I was? Sounds fucking right, bro.
Yeah, who was?
Apparently it was me.
Probably you, yeah.
I have a thick Boston accent sometimes.
I'm afraid to do Boston accents around you because you would call me out for not doing it too well.
Yeah, if you're not doing it great, I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm from Boston. To me, that sounds perfect.
You kind of nailed it there.
Yeah.
Boston Batman's out. Yeah, just he's being.
What's your deal? Hey, bro.
Yeah.
What's your deal with Superman? Like, why you guys fighting?
Nah, kid. He's fucking flying around like a queer.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
That's Batman Boston.
No.
Boston Batman.
No.
No,
Alfred,
we don't.
Alfred, look at him. Look at him.
No, what?
He's flying around like fucking queer.
Okay. Oh, all right. Okay, please.
I'm Boston Batman.
Yeah, I know who you are. You say it all the time.
I'm going to Fenway later.
Yeah?
Okay.
What's happening over there?
I'm going over there like 4 or 5 left there.
I'm sorry. What?
Don't worry about it. Check my fucking Google Calendar. It's in there, Alfred.
You're Batman. You shouldn't have a Google Calendar.
No, it's very secure.
No, that could be hacked.
I got it set up at the window store.
Oh, my God. You went to a Windows store?
Yeah, bruh. At Copley Place. I took the Batmobile down.
No, you shouldn't be doing that.
What are you saying?
You shouldn't be going into public places and then going and signing up for Google.
But I didn't know I wasn't wearing the Bat costume.
But you were in the Batmobile?
What? Oh, shit.
You got to be more careful, Boston Batman.
Oh, man. Alfred, we got to move.
Where are we going to go?
They have our address.
No, should we go to, like, New York?
Ah, fuck New York. Yankees suck, bro. Boston Batman does not go to New York.
Yeah, no, but that's...
I don't give a fuck what's going down there. We are not going. Let the queer soups, he can do that.
Batman, please.
Let him do that.
Please stop calling.
I don't give a shit about what happens in New York. I am Boston Batman.
So you only want to take care of Boston?
I deal with Boston, Dorchester, maybe go as far as Burlington.
What if, like, you can help? What if you're on a trip somewhere in some other...
Where would I be? Why would I have to leave?
Because you go on a vacation. You work...
Well, I don't vacation. I'm in Boston, bro. Everywhere's a vacation. I go to Newbury Street, all those fancy shops. I go in there. I say, hey, I'm Batman.
No, don't do that. You can't keep on telling people you're Batman.
What are you talking about? They give me all sorts of free shit.
Because they're scared of you.
Well,
you can afford it. You're Bruce Wayne.
But they don't need to know that, right?
They already do.
Oh, shit.
That's
Boston Batman. That's what... That's what Boston Batman's up to.
You know what's so great? It's when you're a straight man, it's a real easy job.
Yeah.
What? That's crazy. Then what'd you do? Say something funny. Oh, no.
Oh!
God. That was... Hello. What are you guys doing?
We were just talking about
Just being cool.
stuff.
We were just being cool.
Just
Don't worry
hanging
about
out.
Katie, cut the first 30 minutes.
You didn't even have to say that. She was going to do it anyway.
I'm not going to cut you guys. I'm so sorry. I just literally got off stage from the Marvel panel and ran over here. It was...
Bro, tell us what happened at the Marvel panel.
Well, there was a lot of really great stuff, Matt. There was a lot of really great stuff.
Yo, I heard they had the Hulk's armor from Thor.
They had so it started
Coming out real aggressive, Chris. First you're running just to show off that you can run.
Yeah, whatever.
Why was I not showing up? That's what I heard. Is that not true?
Yeah, there was no Marvel panel. Yeah. Let's see. There was Black Panther. They showed Black Panther, and they announced that Denai Gurira has been added to the cast of Black Panther.
They are really loading that thing up.
It's amazing, yeah. And then they showed. Do you know Taika Waititi is directing
Yes,
Thor?
Thor Ragnarok, yeah.
So they showed a sketch of what Thor and Banner were doing, why they weren't in Civil War. So it was kind of shot like a documentary.
Oh, nice.
And then it was really funny. And then this incredible Doctor Strange thing. Benedict was there. They showed like 9 minutes of footage from the movie and then a trailer.
You'll see it online when you walk out of here, or in the middle of the show. It depends.
I know. I'm
kind of
sorry.
person you
I
are.
hope I didn't make you regret coming here. Like, why didn't we go to Hall
All of
H?
a sudden, everyone's faces just start glowing with the trailer.
Then they showed some stuff from Spider-Man: Homecoming, which looks great because the spin on it is kind of John Hughesy. It's a high school, like a John Hughesy high school movie.
Rad.
It's great. And then Guardians 2.
Yeah, nice.
Guardians 2.
And now we can finally say that our good friend Steve Agee.
Steve Agee is he's a Ravager.
He's a Ravager.
Yeah.
So Steve Agee is going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Kurt Russell was there too.
Yeah.
He's playing Star-Lord's dad, and then
I hope he plays it like Jack Burton.
it's me, Jack Burton. And then they announced Brie Larson as Captain Marvel,
Whoa!
and she came out.
That's great.
It's amazing. So that's everything that happened. I walked out, I ran out and I saw this other guy running alongside me, and he goes, "Hey, I just got on the panel." I go, "I'm sorry, I can't stop. I got to keep running." He goes, "I'm going to your show too." So I'm like, "Get the fuck in the pedicab, let's go." And so this kid Daniel was in Hall H. So Daniel, hopefully got in. I love you. So
Did you make him pay for the pedicab?
Well, yeah.
You get it. I got to go on the show.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I don't pay. I don't want people to pay to take my picture, but if it wants to rent a pedicab, I got to make them pay for that. No, I covered it. But I'm going to shut up talking because we have a special guest backstage that is waiting to come out, who's been very gracious. Please welcome Tatiana Maslany. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
You know, the last time we got to actually sit down and talk with you at length was when we were doing the Nerdist TV show for BBC America. You had just started Orphan Black at that point.
And I don't think I'd done any press about it.
No.
I just remember watching it back and saying about 500 times. I was so nervous.
I don't think anyone. Yeah, I mean, I think you get more in your head about that than any. I don't think anyone noticed. I just know that right away after the first episode, people were like, "Have you seen Orphan Black? Have you seen the show Orphan Black?" You know, BBC America hadn't really done its own original programming at that point like that. And so how has this journey been for you from there to now nominated for an Emmy? For Best Actress in a Dramatic Series.
Yeah, it's been amazing. I mean, really surreal to come back to Comic-Con every year and see the audience for our show kind of growing and more cosplay happening. And it's totally surreal.
There's so many different cosplays on your show that people could take up.
Specific.
Very
specific. Like
Yeah.
clone within a clone within a clone, which is my favorite stuff. Yeah, that's great.
So, when you started, what was your perception of the show, and how has it changed? It's become such a huge part of your life.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the beginning when I did your show, I mean, we were just hoping people would watch it, and maybe buy it, because it's kind of a huge conceit to buy into, and sort of bizarre, and it could totally have fallen on its face very easily. So I think that's, now that people watch it and people like it, and we can kind of expand the characters and do even more bizarre things with it, it's just such a great experience for me in terms of being an actor and getting to flesh out all these different parts of myself and explore characters that I would never be cast as, ever.
Is that part of the process each season, or do you say this is what I want to do, or this is kind of who I want to play, or how I want to attack different aspects?
Well, they kind of approach me with a sort of base of the character, whether it's just sort of what the purpose of the character is, and then we'll kind of flesh out maybe where they're from or how we kind of see them being, like their aesthetic or their mannerisms or things like that. But it's a real collaboration, yeah.
Does that help the aesthetics? Are you guys kind of like grabbing wigs and grabbing clothes and you go, aha, that's her? Or...
I just have a tickle trunk of funny noses.
This one's a clown.
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Pirate clown.
A clone clown.
Yeah. No, it's like the aesthetic, I feel like, does influence them in a big way. I do like kind of going from the outside in, which I think most actors aren't supposed to do that.
Yeah. Well,
it's
but
a faux
it doesn't
pas.
matter what most actors are supposed to do because it's working. What you're doing is working. And unlike any other show, do you feel a particular connection to one or more of the characters? Or because usually a character can change, but it's really still one arc. But there's so many. This is just like a bunch of arcs converging in one place. Yeah. So how do you kind of keep your head straight through all that?
Well, I just feel like as an actor, the most natural thing is just taking the suggestion of who your character is and embracing that. It's not like I'm like, wait, but I don't understand. Like, my job is to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's the joy of it is getting to switch up halfway through the day from soccer mom to psycho Ukrainian. It's like that's the most fun thing on the planet because I can never get bored.
Right. We had talked about this when you were on the Nerdist show, but you have a comedy background. Like you did sketch.
I did improv. I did
improv.
long form improv for years. I did improv in elementary school. So I started when I was 9 doing improv, which is like French improv, sur la glace. Does anybody know French improv? One person.
Oui.
That's about right. One
Yeah.
person knows French improv.
And it's like a very strict kind of improv that's got punishments in it. And
I need an occupation. You run a boulangerie.
yeah, exactly. It's all in English, just with French accents.
With French accents,
Yeah,
yes.
and stereotypes. But it's super fun and super scary and rigid. And I did that for 4 years in elementary school. And then I did high school improv because in Canada, we have this great thing called the Canadian Improv Games. Yeah, which is a high school, like countrywide competition. And you do short form games. And you go to the national tournament.
Oh, wow.
Tell us other ways Canada's better than us.
Because no Trump.
Except in
Sorry.
South Park.
Yeah, exactly.
South Park had Canadian Trump. Yeah.
That's true. And everything you guys do affects us greatly. Please be careful.
I know. I mean, you got Trudeau up there.
Yeah.
It's like everything seems cool.
It's the best.
It's like the one country everyone's like, fuck the rest of you guys. Yeah.
Exactly. Leave the UK, come to Canada. Yeah.
So you sadly, the final season of Orphan Black is coming up, and it just I know it seems so strange. It just seems so strange that much time has gone by already.
Weird.
So did you shoot the last season already? Is that all?
No,
done?
we're
You're
about to shoot it in October.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Are you processing that yet?
I'm not until people are asking me like, how does it feel? I'm
How does
like,
it feel?
oh, I guess really bad. It's like
How does it feel to be
crushing
done
in
with
on
the
me.
greatest thing in your life?
How will you ever top this?
How could you ever come back?
don't ask her
What?
like that.
No, man.
Just say how she's feeling.
People always want me to be more like Marin. So here's 9 stories about myself, and then I'll ask about you. #cats. I'm kidding.
Are you?
I'm kidding. I like to tease him. I tease him because he's such a crankpot sometimes. I tease him. Please don't tell him that I said that. Katie, cut that out. But you guys really, I assume, it's, you form a kind of a family when you guys are working together because your hours are long and you're all in it together. So how, what do you think it's going to be like?
I think it's going to be like leaving summer camp or school and then going off into the world and being like, who am I without this amazing job that I had, and this amazing family of people around me and the clones too. I'm very protective of them. I don't want to not get to play those characters.
I am positive that people will still
terrible
be
spinning.
sightings in public of you and like a wig with bangs and then another wig with crazy hair.
I really lose it, yeah.
Yeah, but what a great, so much versatility. What a great thing to have that people know you can do. What types of roles do you want to do going forward? What do you want to do? Film and television? You want to do all types of roles, or just kind of focus on one thing?
I love characters. That's kind of what I want to do, and this has been an amazing kind of stepping stone into that world. I love transformation. I love kind of changing my posture and my physicality and all of that. So I'd love to do more work like that. But it's not necessarily the thing that I don't think a lot of women get to do that stuff. it's not sort of our. There's a lot of male actors who, whatever, they've shed 900,000 pounds and then they're an actor or whatever. I don't mean stuff like that, but I mean like, I don't know. There's some really great opportunity for like character work, and that's kind of what I want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And because you have a background in improv and I assume writing too, do you see yourself creating stuff?
Yeah, I'd love to. I think that's the scariest thing I could imagine is being like, I've written this. I think this is good. You know what I mean? That's the scary. I think this is funny, or I think whatever.
But you also
clever.
would understand it the most if you wrote it, right? You would understand
Totally.
it.
But I don't think I would give myself the biggest challenge I could possibly give myself. Do you know what I mean? I think I like somebody handing me something and being like, how can I do this? How can I interpret this? What's my version of this?
Do you think you're going to go nuts if you're on something else and you're just the same character for a while?
I think I might go less nuts. I think I might come back to sanity a little bit.
Is there any downside to playing to keeping it all straight? What are some of the downsides?
I don't sleep at all, practically. I'm high on caffeine at all times. It's just a very kinetic feeling thing. My body's in constant flux.
Right.
And my brain is always going, so I can't sleep. It's just not good.
Ever.
Ever. No.
And it'll probably be when you rap too, it'll probably be like a couple months before you can get your brain back to a place where you're like, oh, what is normal? It must feel like you're in the fucking Matrix.
Yes.
Where you're just coming out of the Matrix and then just back into the dirty real world.
Totally. And it's sad and dirty.
Do you already know kind of what the final arc is going to be?
Not really. I know that we're going to be focusing a little bit on each individual character and sort of giving them some sort of a moment.
Right.
Kind of, whether that's an episode dedicated to each character or whatever it is, but there's going to be a real fleshing out of the characters that we've seen already in the past.
They were in purgatory the whole time.
Yeah, it was all a dream.
They were all just waiting to find each other so they could go to heaven.
Yeah.
Going to reveal that they were all con.
It's just all of a sudden it's just Benedict Cumberbatch.
It was me the whole time, BBC America.
That's a great Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, thank you. I'm a master of... Here's another one. Forget it.
He was not going to do it.
That's a good Matt Myra.
Thank you. I remember when I went up to the set before for the BBC America show, I went up to the set. The first episode hadn't even aired yet, and my favorite thing I got to say to them was, were you afraid calling the show Orphan Black, Madonna might try to adopt it?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I remember that joke.
It really tickled me, and it's still in my head.
Not the audience's favorite joke.
Doesn't matter.
That felt so sincere. One woman just goes, "Oh my God!"
Did she fall off the balcony?
She fell off the balcony. Yeah.
She threw
fell over there.
herself off.
It's like the Haunted Mansion.
So what are you doing in your off time? I mean, I know Comic-Con's been kind of crazy, but are you taking some time? Do you have to take time to recenter yourself?
Yeah, I've taken some time this year. It's been pretty lazy. But the past 2 years, I shot 2 movies last year.
Yeah.
2 indie movies in Canada. And the year before, I shot a movie as well. So I'm kind of trying to dip my feet more into that world.
Do you think that'll be the next thing? Just like kind of jump into film? Because I'll bet you'll get a ton of TV offers too.
I would love to do that. I'd love to do theater. I'd love to go back to do improv again. And woo, theater.
Hey, we're in a theater.
Yeah. That was the theater itself.
That was the theater
cheering.
itself. Finally, someone's speaking up for me. That's how this theater talks. It's me, Balboa. It's probably an old theater, so it talks like the time it was built. Oh,
When's Hamilton gonna be in me?
Oh, Balboa Theater. I got some bad news.
What do you mean?
Hamilton is not a coming.
Oh,
Maybe a third run of Book of Mormon.
all right. It's the greatest musical of this century. Still says it on the posters.
I love it. I feel like Balboa is going to have to be a recurring character on the podcast.
Poor Balboa.
Please don't throw your trash inside me. So what?
Ladies and gentlemen, please enjoy Boz Scaggs.
Boy, I wish.
Here's Chris Hardwick.
I'm sorry, I don't have cable. We really went on a journey with Balboa.
I love Balboa.
Character.
I love that
character. So what types of things do you do to relax? Like, what do you go back to nature, or do you need to just kind of exist in a city for a while?
What do I do? I eat food. I don't know. I don't know what I do. I do nothing.
What part of Canada
interest.
do you live in normally?
I live in Toronto.
You live in Toronto.
So I live there. Yeah. People from Toronto, or people just fans of? Cool. Awesome.
I love Toronto.
Oh,
Yeah?
it's such a great city.
It's
I've always
really great.
described it as it's a Gotham City if Batman was good at his job.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. It's like gorgeous, clean, beautiful buildings. No crazy clowns.
Right.
Where are you
Mimes, though.
It's a French clowns,
I'm
though.
so, yes.
A French Joker. That'd be amazing. Where are you going? I have to go to work, eh? Like, it's just that gravelly. It's like it's from the first Batman movie. What types of stuff do you watch? Do you watch anything? Are there any shows that you're into?
Yeah, I really like Another Period.
Oh, yes.
It's really
Have you done it yet?
Have
You
I
know-
done it yet?
I swear to God, they would have you on in a
Oh, they'd
second.
have you on in a
Okay.
second.
Is
Ricky
this-
and Natasha would have you on in a minute.
Cool. Call me, guys.
They will. will.
Love that show. Love it. It's so funny.
Do you think comedy? Do you think like a comedy is like that? Like a single camera comedy might be something you'd want to do?
I would love to. I mean, that's kind of all I ever watch. I don't really watch any drama. I haven't seen anything that I should have seen.
Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Yeah.
The Wire.
I'm sorry. Are you okay? It seemed like there was a tickle in your
The
throat or something.
Sopranos.
You saying Game of
Shame.
Thrones?
It's a shame speech impediment.
I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Maslany. All that you can say is Game of Thrones. Would you like some milk, Game of Thrones? Game of Thrones. I mean, it's television has become such a responsibility now, such a social pressure.
Oh, yeah.
That people are, I mean, do you think we're in a good place with fandom, or do you think people, or we're getting to, I'm starting to think people are looking at entertainment like it's a goddamn right. And,
Right.
and it's almost like people are fighting about entertainment the way they fought for social issues in the 60s, you know? Like, it's intense. Do you feel like we're maybe getting too, is there a nice balance that we could find? Like, how do you think entertainment should be enjoyed?
Well, I guess that's why I'm proud of our show, is because it's entertainment, but at the same time I feel like we're talking about things that are of interest to me, at least in terms of women's issues and reproductive rights and all of that, which is very heavy and wonderful to get into right now.
No, you can.
But-
You absolutely can.
But you know what I mean? Like, I enjoy watching, like, Another Period. I'm trying to think of how socially conscious that is, but... it is, guys. It is. But no, I like shows that I feel like they're changing the fabric of the way we see storytelling, the way we see narratives, the kinds of people we're willing to follow.
Right.
You know, and the kinds of stories we're excited to see. I think as long as it stays kind of progressive like that.
Yeah.
I think we're in a cool age of it, though. I think that there's some really interesting stuff happening.
Well, I think you're a great role model for young actors, and I also think. Do you find that when you start thinking ahead about other things that you might want to do you feel responsibility to take on roles that are not only creatively satisfying, but also you feel portray women in a way that you feel are maybe underrepresented in roles in entertainment?
Yeah, I try not to mix my politics too much with my creative choices, but it's sort of a thing that I'm navigating now.
Yeah.
Because I do have such strong politics in terms of that stuff. But at the same time, I feel like you can't deny that thing that goes like, oh, this is such a juicy thing to play.
Right.
Maybe it's not the most, whatever, morally sound representation of a person, but I think that there's so many different ways a person can be.
Yeah.
And like, I don't want to be the character that's just like, kicking butt and taking name. Like, I'm like, that's the most boring thing I could possibly imagine. I like characters that are just messed up and flawed and that are human, and so I try to just follow that.
Yeah.
thing.
Is there an element to the show that's been surprising to you in terms of fandom or the impact that it's had? Is there a story you can think of where you first realized, oh shit, people are really watching this and they're really, because you know when a show is sticky, you can tell when people are really like grab onto something.
Yeah,
when
it gets an after show.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're welcome, entertainment. But I think it's great. I'm not against. People always say, like, do you mind that they're the Raptors? I'm like, no, because it's perfect for the fan experience.
Listen,
like,
G4 had a Heroes after show that would air after Heroes, so it's not new.
Oh,
Seems like a good time to air that show.
seems like a good time to have G4. If it's not around anymore. But I mean, what was that moment where you realized Orphan Black was really a thing?
I think it was at Comic-Con the first year we were here, and there was some people came up and talked on the mic at the panel and told stories about how they came out because they'd seen themselves on television for the first time. Cosima or Felix had given them this confidence to come out to their parents, and watching the show gave them this platform to talk about who they were and that kind of thing, give them some visibility within their family even. It was just kind of stuff like that sort of blew our minds and made us go, oh, maybe we're doing something okay. Again, with the speech impediment of shame.
Also, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones.
It's no Game of Thrones.
But see, that's what's that's what's kind of funny, and even the fact that you're almost nervous to admit, like, I haven't seen it, because people really do get affronted, like, how could you watch? What are you doing that is so important?
Especially being in the industry, people are like, so how much do you love Khaleesi or whatever?
Right.
Or The Mountain.
Mountain? The Mountain.
Is that a guy on the show?
Yeah.
Huge guy.
Huge
Big old guy.
Like a mountain.
I'm behind a season on Game of Thrones. It's fine.
You'll get there, Chris.
I will. Yeah, it's fine. It's too hard. It's so hard to keep up with everything.
I know.
Especially if you have, in entertainment, you don't really have a regular schedule, so you really just kind of have to cram it into the cracks of everything. Do you?
Go on.
It's like those DVDs you were talking about earlier, man.
Yeah, we're Anal Titans.
Yeah. You have to really just...
It's like the Anal Titans, Chris, Volume 7.
You just have to get a...
What is that? Is that a mini Sieg Heil?
No! I was going to say you have to get a scoop, you have to get just a little scoop of margarine and just right on the tip of the entertainment and just glide it into your schedule. You have to just part it into your schedule.
Part it.
Until you bottom out. And... We're fucking 15 years old. Hey guys, I don't appreciate this kind of language inside me.
Oh, Balboa.
Last year I had Elvis Costello in here.
But are you able to watch other things while you're shooting, or how focused do you need to be? How much do you need to shut out the outside world when you're working?
Kind of watch. I feel like I just watch the same thing. I just watch Futurama over and over and over. This is why I don't watch other things, because I'm like, how many times can I watch?
Good news, everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I need to hear that 50 times a day.
I completely agree.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Lydia and I watch. There are a handful of shows that we watch every night in bed, even though we've seen them a million times.
Cheers, Frasier. Yep.
Nope, that's you.
Yes.
You Cheers or a Frasier fan? Cheers or Frasier?
Both.
Really?
My God, Frasier though, like
right?
really
Oh my
Frasier.
God! No!
Yes.
Right?
I feel like-
Cheers, the blues of Colin. Frasier's the best show.
It's amazing.
It's so rewatchable and it's so unique and that it stood alone. Guys, I supported the Change.org petition to have Cheers on Netflix renamed Frasier Origins.
That totally made up for that other joke. That is amazing. The whole thing, all of Cheers.
Yeah, it's just setting up. It was a 10-year setup of Frasier.
That's a long con.
He wasn't even in the first season.
Oh my God, that's crazy. So you feel like watching kind of programming that you don't really have. It is hard. I imagine it's really hard when you're so focused all day at work and your brain is active all day. To focus on a really intense drama. It probably takes a lot out of you.
No way. I just want to watch something I know is going to make me laugh.
Yeah.
Like I know the joke that's coming already.
And you
I'm like
quote
an
it.
old man. I
That's
think.
fine. That's totally fine. Are there other shows? What other shows are you
What
into
other
besides
shows?
Futurama?
What other shows exist? What other
Well,
shows
I think we
exist?
just watch Cheers and Frasier a
We
lot.
just watch Cheers and Frasier.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll throw on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh.
Do you like other sci-fi?
No, I always say that Futurama is the only thing that I was like, that's my sci-fi.
Yeah, it is though. It's a really
very
good one.
sci-fi.
It's like
And
almost.
they have sound science on the show.
It is
so
legitimately
it's not-
sci-fi.
Yeah.
You know all the symbols that you see on the show?
Yeah, that's a language.
That's a language, and they change it. At each season, I don't know if it's every season or so, but when people start to figure out what the language is, they change it. I think
No.
there's like a few different iterations of each one of those symbols.
Crazy.
Why don't you create like maybe an animated show or something you might
That would be awesome. I do love cartoons. I absolutely love cartoons.
What type of comedy would you make?
I don't know. I just really like things like did you see The Overnight?
No.
Did you see that? Wasn't that perfect?
That's a great movie.
Yeah, that tone is just amazing.
It's just like it might as well be a comedic thriller.
Yeah.
With how tense it is the entire
so
time.
tense.
Yeah.
No satisfaction.
Yeah, exactly. If you guys haven't seen it, Jason Schwartzman and Adam Scott and lady from Orange is the New
Taylor Schilling.
Taylor Schilling.
And
That other lady.
that French girl.
Yeah.
Who was very good.
Oh, the French girl.
Yeah, the French girl.
My house alarm just went off.
That's
so-
cool. No one's
no.
there.
What?
I said, that's cool. No one's there.
Why don't you tell everyone?
Hang on. What do you think is going to happen by me telling everyone here?
Because there's going to be a really clever criminal who's going to tweet their friend, "It's okay to move in now. You can get the Exorcist dummy that Lydia bought Chris. Try not to break any glass."
Please.
You have an exorcist dummy?
Yeah.
Why?
Because
That's what I said. That's what I said. It's right when you fucking walk in.
No! That's literally my worst nightmare. That's what I
Why?
picture every time I get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. I picture
This isn't our
her.
front.
Fuck you. That's horrible. No way.
It's literally, you walk in the front door, it's on the left.
It looks
She
like a
bought it.
person.
Yeah,
it's
I know.
a person. Like the physicality, there's a weight to it.
it was made by this
Yeah.
company called McGee Effects, and they made it for Universal for the park. And so Lydia surprised me with it.
For those of you who can't see the picture,
on
think of
Instagram.
how it is, and it's worse than that.
Do you collect anything? Is there anything you collect?
What do I collect? I collect books that I don't read. I have so many books.
They look
that
good
I-
on a shelf,
oh my
though,
God.
don't they?
They look so good.
Yeah.
And they're so, like, politically aware.
Oh, yeah.
And
Nice.
thick.
Yeah.
And classics like Dostoevsky.
He's dope.
Yeah, he's sick. I get him.
I admittedly bought so many cool old decorative books for my house, like just gorgeous old
Yeah.
volumes. And on one of the first dates, Lydia was like, "Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about things I didn't like." She was like, "Yeah, it's like I really can't stand people who just buy books for the look." And I'm like, "Yeah, fuck those people." And I was like shoving them off the.
You want to come to a book burning later? No reason. I mean, I don't like Jews.
Why did you?
That's the only reason there'd be a book burning. Did no one see The Last Crusade?
Glug, 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 glug. Since you're here, do you
Yeah.
mind if we take a couple questions from
No,
the
I'd love
audience?
that.
Because I feel like that is one of the things. You get out of my way, bottle. That was what I said from 1995 to 2003.
Jokes about alcoholism.
It was, yeah. Hello.
Princess
Hello.
Leia. That's
Princess Leia. Do you have a question? No. Okay. Does anyone have a question for Tatiana? I will.
You know what was amazing is I was looking at your hair and I was like, wow, his hair matches his beard color. Thinking like, what a wig. And then I realized, no, it's an adult male could have that length hair. Is that your real hair, sir? Thought so.
nice.
What is
Nailed
your
it.
name?
John,
John, what's your question?
my question is for Tatiana. What is your favorite clone that he played?
I'll take this one.
Okay,
I
go.
think when it comes, I mean, there's so many great clones. Go ahead.
No, please. I love Allison. Woo! And Helena and and Crystal. Just keep naming them now. Sarah.
All right. Who had a question over here?
David.
Yes, he's already said it. Yes.
Oh, great. We love you, Tatiana. What mashup would you choose for Orphan Black and why?
What mashup?
Yeah, if you could mash or
Any movie or any episode or any series, besides Futurama, by the way.
Oh, right. Crap. My one reference. Frasier.
Yeah!
Hey, baby, I hear the clones are calling, so darling. Cloney eggs. I see you're wearing the Pac-Man suits, and it's fucking great. You look fantastic. What is your question?
Is there any video games that you've played, or in general, phone games, PC games, any of that kind of
I was obsessed with The Sims, like stupidly obsessed with The Sims. Terrible. So much life lost.
So much life lost. That's how I felt when I was trying to make a baby.
Oh, my God.
1 million.
Oh. Keep trying, Matt. You'll get it up.
Ooh, slam.
No. What is your question?
Hi, I just want to know, which of the clones do you feel like is the most like you?
Oh.
Good
Jonah?
question.
Frasier.
I feel like, I guess maybe in mannerism, Casima's kind of close to me, and just sort of her general vibe. But Allison is kind of embarrassingly kind of where my heart is. Yeah, saying a lot.
What is your name?
Laura.
Hey.
Hey. So I loved Orphan Black, and I really loved Parks and Rec, and then you went on Parks and Rec, which was awesome. And then unfortunately, you never got to come back. So what do you think happened to your character after she went?
She never came back.
Yeah, I know. So sad.
She stayed in Africa.
Forever.
Yeah, forever.
She
And
probably liked it there.
I think she just, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you were
probably
great,
just.
though.
Oh, thanks.
It was awesome.
It was an absolute dream come true for me. I was extremely jet lagged, and I landed on set and was like opposite Aziz, who I used to quote to my brother, and I would quote him to each other. And now I was standing opposite him. I was like, oh crap, so scary. Yeah, it was amazing.
Yes, you in the middle. Let me see how quickly I can get to you. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Just throw the mic, Chris.
Excuse me.
Toss
Excuse me.
it.
Excuse me. Hey, you're wearing the chunk shirt. So the chunk shirt, this guy is I was at the Nerdist party the other night, and this guy comes up and he goes, hey, look at the guy on your shirt. And I go, yeah, I know, he's a lawyer now. And he's like, no, look at the guy on your shirt. It was fucking Jeff Cohen who played that character. And he's delighted that he is on your shirt, just so you know. What is your name?
Iris.
What is your question?
What does Selena dream about?
Ooh. I feel like she, oh man, lots of death. Lots of death, I think she is a baby in her dreams. What? I don't know what I'm
French improv.
What? I don't know. That's so stupid. I mean, why would I say that? She's a baby. I mean,
yeah, I'm staying with that.
Staying with baby.
I'm really sorry, but I want to know how you're going to make him pay for being late.
Oh?
You guys are going to make him pay.
They can't make me do anything. The mere suggestion is hilarious.
This is a good example of truth in comedy coming from Chris Hardwick.
This is like ultimate hubris. How are you gonna make me pay? Cut to Chris Hardwick's career ruined.
now running for Republican National.
Let's make Comic-Con great again. Yes, sir.
Since you're also a fan of Futurama, I gotta know, because my sister and I are fans of Bender.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character?
Leela, but I had a crush on Fry and still kind of do.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in the way. There's questions over here. I'm coming to ya. Here I come, gonna answer your question. Boy, if only there were rows farther back than here, but I guess all I have
are what's up here before me.
But Chris, there are plenty of rows back there.
People who cared enough to buy tickets earlier in the front, who I guess...
You gonna take that? Get
Freedom! I'm kidding. Did you have the question? Okay, you had the question.
Are you gonna go on Comedy Bang Bang again?
I desperately hope so. I watched the show the other night. It was awesome. Did anybody else go?
Wait, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I feel like I gotta go to the very back. I'm all the way in the back. Oh, you're wearing a Marvel Studios hat. You came over from the...
That was one of the questions. We had a question for you. Did you teleport here? Because we literally ran from Hall H. How did you get here so fast?
I have a time turner. No.
Question for... Okay, so Tatiana, the whole neo-illusionist thing, when you were told the concept of like being altered and everything, did you find any part of that fascinating and thought about like, well, what would I want altered?
Not so much what I'd want altered, but would I be okay with somebody sticking a bot in my face and changing my DNA? And I figured no, I wouldn't be okay with that.
Okay, wait, what? You have a question? What is it?
I do. I was hoping Tatiana would share with us one of her favorite, like, off-camera moments with her fellow castmates.
Ooh.
Sorry. Were you hoping you would get that started in the crowd?
Yeah. Ooh. Interesting.
Where do you think you're going? Where are you going? Where are you going?
Question.
Oh, where are you going? You gotta be somewhere? You gotta be somewhere? Oh, maybe we all have to go to the bathroom, but we're all not gonna get up. I know, I gotta go too, but I'm still here. I'm still here. What do you think you're doing? I'm not going with you. You have to do it alone. You can do this. I believe in you. I'm sorry.
There was a moment, you guys know Matt Frewer, who plays,
Max Headroom.
He's amazing. So he's Dr. Leakey on our show, and he'd worked with our showrunner, John Fawcett, on something a long time ago. And when John came to set on that show years back, everybody was saying to him, you guys be careful, Matt's in a mood today. He's really not in a good mood, so he's got the bag on. And Matt came to set with a bag on his head that had a sad face on it. Which is like totally just a prank to pull on John so that he would feel really uncomfortable talking and giving him direction. And so then on set the one day when Matt was like still in processing, the whole crew put bags on their heads with the sad face on. And then when he came to set, it was very funny.
You should have been there. It was great.
I think we have time for one more question. What is your question?
Well, as a fellow Canadian, I just want to say thank you for giving Canadian television a little bit of a highlight, because we know we get a little
Hey,
bit...
we love the Red Green Show.
Right? But you mentioned that you love comedy, and I would love to hear what you would love to get into again after maybe a little bit of Canadian comedy after you're done with Orphan Black.
Have you guys seen the show Baroness von Sketch? Yeah. She has seen it.
She's seen it.
She had. I feel like there's lots of great sketch comedy coming out of Canada right now. There's great improv. I would just like to do more of that stuff, I think. Get it? Get
You need
it?
help? No, I don't need help. Pratfall. So as you're kind of, I think we went over a little over on our time with you, so I apologize. But it's
offensive.
I'm so sorry.
It's really offensive.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
But is there anything you want to say to the fans kind of going into the last season who've been with you all these seasons? Is there anything, any kind of, we're about to start the ride kind of thing to the end? What do you want people to take away from the show by the time it's all done?
I just hope I hope we get answers to a lot of the questions that we've set up since season 1, and I think we will. I sat in the writer's room for about a day early on this season and got to hear what they were talking about, and it sounds really exciting. I hope you guys like it, because we really like you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tatiana Maslany.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Do you mind if I get a picture with all of us together?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
You guys are great.
Oh,
What do
sorry.
we do?
Cool.
All right.
Thank you so much. Tatiana Maslany! Our next guests are not here quite yet.
Oh wow, pulling a real
Oh my God! What could we do? Could we talk to each other?
No. What have you guys seen? What have you guys seen the last couple days?
We talked about it before you got here.
Before you got here.
I wasn't
so
here.
Weird. Well, I did buy the one thing I bought at Comic-Con this year was two things. I bought the Transformers G.I. Joe crossover set from Hasbro, and then I bought a lithograph of James Garner in the Rockford Files.
Are you serious? What is it?
It's just a painting of him, just like up against just like looking all fucking Rockford File-y. I was like, holy shit.
That is a great show, by the way.
Oh, it's fantastic.
If you've never, the Rockford Files, he was just, this was in an era where there were so many, like everyone was doing like a detective show or a private eye show, and everyone was super cool and super slick. And he was one of the first kind of like fucked up, broken characters.
And the Rockford Files and the Fall Guy to me are like, they're like simpatico. Those shows, for some reason in my head, are the same show.
They're about a decade apart.
Well, it doesn't matter. I said for some reason. Frasier and Cheers are a decade apart.
That's true.
God, this guy doesn't know time.
I don't even know.
You guys stop fighting. The only reason I looked for Rockford Files is because it was mentioned in a Ben Folds 5 song, and I was like, I should check it out.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's actually something that I'm surprised hasn't...
Watch the Rockford Files and call to see if Paul can score some beer.
Weed.
Weed, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty easy to score beer when you're an adult.
Well, maybe they're not adults. Maybe they're kids. Then it's not so easy. I don't know how things happened in Hawaii. You're a fucking lawless island.
There is law. His name is Dog.
What's Comic-Con been like for you being a part of Mystery Science Theater? And the only reason that I kind of laugh about...
Why are you laughing at him?
You know why? Because it's such an overwhelming... Like, it's such an odd... It must be such a head trip for you.
I've cried a lot. It's really weird. It's back and forth. There's a lot of people going, can't wait for the new MST, and I go, thanks. And other people go, don't fuck it up. And then I just can go, I'll try not to. I'll do my best. But it's been really cool. It's overwhelming, and but I think it's gonna be really good. And it's Mystery Science Theater 3000. It's the thing that got me into wanting to do comedy, performing comedy, and now I get to do it. So it's nuts, and I think it's gonna be really good. See, this is what happens. I don't know how to respond to questions
you give
about
a sincere answer, and it's fucking awesome.
And then it's to ramble. I've stopped knowing how to respond to it because I've tried to do a short thing where I go, dream come true, but then I immediately in my head I'm like, that sounds so fucking fake. Sounds like when an actor it's like, hey, you're gonna be new Spider-Man. Huh, I've always loved Spider-Man. Yeah.
Tom Holland does look great as Spider-Man, though.
Oh yeah,
he's
so
awesome. Spot on. I just feel like it was a tall order, and part of the reason why, I'm sure you guys know this, but the last two, the Amazing Spider-Man movies, the rights were at another studio, and so you go, well, why do they have to do another origin story back then? It's like, well, they had to, they have to. It's a rights thing. In order to retain the rights, they had to do another origin story. They had to do it.
Well, they have to reset in order to not have to pay Sam Raimi again, right? Isn't that the way it goes?
I don't know. It's some legal. It was some sort of a contract thing, but it does not look like this Spider-Man: Homecoming is any kind of an origin story.
Nice.
So it's great. You should definitely, when you leave here, go check out the footage and see if they put it up online. I don't know if they did.
Someone did with a shaky iPhone.
Oh God. I hope not. I mean, it is a real bummer when people do that because it does. Part of what's special about Comic-Con is that, obviously not everyone can come here, and I know people have obstacles, but a lot of people really do make a lot of effort to come here, and it's really special, and they sleep on the sidewalk, and they wait in line for hours, and they get into Hall H, and they plant there for all day long, and a lot of the time just sitting in their seat when they have to go to the bathroom, and they don't eat, and, and you don't get to shower, and it's like, and so it...
All this sounds miserable.
Well... If you look at it from that point of view, it kind of is, but...
It sounds like Coachella.
Yeah. But with a lot less hey, bro.
Hey, bro. But more Hasbro than hey, bro.
Points! Points!
He nailed it.
Jonah did a phenomenal limp doll. pratfall.
Remember me as I lived, making a horrible pun.
That was a gorgeous pun. But the idea is that, people wait to go in there and
This is
see
not
that.
the worst part of doing a pratfall. So sorry.
You have to get up. You never think that through. I got to pick everything up now. But people really do, and you get in there and you see it, and when it leaks out, that doesn't convince studios the next year, that makes them nervous about, well, if we're not ready to have stuff out in the world, we just wanted to show it. People put it online, I would ask that people fight the urge to do that, because it really kind of hurts the whole process.
Yeah, I like the idea of being in a room full of people, like-minded people, and then finding out something huge about something everyone loves at the same time. That energy is so amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Pence.
Oh, wow!
I can't believe it!
Oh, man!
As soon as I saw that announcement, I couldn't stop going, "'Tis but a trumpets." Sounds like a British...
Oh, I like it.
It's a trumpets. But one of the reasons why, I'm moderating 10 panels this year at Comic-Con, and people are like, why
Thank God you finally slowed down,
I did.
Chris.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of something my dad said once. I went home, and when he was alive, of course. I went home, and...
Well, hang on. After you tell this story, tell us about something he said after.
Oh, okay.
And boo doesn't count.
Because he says that to all of us.
He said, burn them all.
Catch them, kill them.
Catch them, kill them. My dad. Something my dad said to me at home once is because my dad was a casual drinker. He drank his whole life, but he never. In the last several years, it was he didn't really get drunk. He just he would just have beers in the evening, and I'd been sober for about 7 or 8 years, and he goes, "Hey, how's that going? I'm so proud of you. How's that going?" I'm like, "Oh, it's good. How are you doing with stuff?" And he was like, "Yeah, I probably have 7 or 8 beers a day, because at a certain point you gotta slow down." I'm like, "What?" I laughed in his face. But he just would casually sip. But I kind of feel the same way. I'm 10, I had to slow down. But part of the reason why I do it is because, A, I want to see these things. I only moderate panels that I'm really excited about the thing. And
there's other ways.
I know, but there's nothing like today. I knew what was coming up in the Marvel panel, and I knew how excited people were going to be to see it, and that is so edifying to me because, the way they introduced Doctor Strange is after the Thor kind of the gag thing that they did. The lights were out, and all this smoke came down, and they projected the Doctor Strange logo and stuff on the smoke.
Oh, like in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Like in Pirates of the Caribbean, yeah. Like when Davy Jones. That's exactly what I said. And then in the middle of the smoke, out walks Benedict. And then the smoke just cleared and Benedict was standing there. And people just lost their fucking minds. When Hiddleston came out as Loki a couple years ago. But that feeling of watching stuff under this massive screen with this incredible sound system, watching the Strange footage and watching the performers watch it, and watching 7,000 people watch it, you're in this kind of amazing crescendo of the vibration of what's coming off the screen, and then the vibration and the energy of the crowd clashing together. Honest to God, when Benedict and the rest of the cast got up and the lights came back on, they were wiping tears out of their eyes because they'd never seen this stuff before, and to see it like this, and that is why I do 10 panels. That's why I'm a part. That's why I try to be a part of all that stuff. And I know it seems pandery. Sit down, Jonah. Sit down.
Jonah, I am so happy not one person in this theater got up.
Tis but a trumpets. But I know it sounds pandery to say that, but it really isn't. Cool. It's the reason why I do it, and why it's so exciting to get a front row seat. So what else?
Okay, so you did Marvel just before this. What else did you do this weekend?
The morning I did the DreamWorks animation panel, which was Trolls, and then
they're doing another Trolls.
The Troll dolls.
Oh,
yeah. And that was Justin Timberlake and Anna Kendrick, and then Boss Baby, Alec Baldwin, and Boss Baby looks really funny. The
Troll is like a feel-good kind of a movie, and but Boss Baby looks legitimately funny.
Well, you put a baby in a suit, I'm going to laugh every time.
Yeah, and it's Alec Baldwin. Yeah, it's Alec Baldwin. They said Steve Buscemi is in it too, and so that was really fun. And then I did our Nerdist panel, Mr. Robot, which was. That too, it's also kind of getting that front row seat and seeing, because I remember being on the first panel with the Walking Dead cast and seeing that kind of grow. And then the Mr. Robot cast had never been together at one point, and they were in that one like 6 A, B, C, D, E, F or whatever is that, like a bunch of rooms at once. And I'm sure they'll be in Hall H next year. But watching them come off stage and be like, holy fuck, because these people work in a bubble, like their work, and they don't really, I know they can kind of gauge that it's going well, and Rami got an Emmy nomination, and
I'm sure they checked Twitter.
And obviously the show got nominated and everything. But to see like what it feels like for them to see the validation and see people wearing like Mr. Robot jackets, and that's really fun. That's really fun too, because as a performer, it's very difficult you don't have a lot to, it's not a linear business, so it's hard to gauge when things are working or not, and you don't know how it's affecting people. So it's kind of a nice little perk for them. Are you looking back? Are they?
No,
one's back
I'm
there
looking
now.
at you.
Oh, I saw you looking over my.
I'm engaging.
Engage.
Oh.
Have you seen any good Star Trek stuff?
No, I haven't seen. Has anyone seen the movie yet?
I heard it's good.
Okay, now cheer if you think I will enjoy it. I'll take it. That sounds like a 70% think I'll enjoy it.
That was about the same number of people who watched it. Yeah. Oh wait, you're gonna.
Oh, you had a question for me, bro? I can answer it.
Come here. What do you want to say?
Did you ever buy that like really expensive Kirk?
The Wrath of Khan. So I was over at the Innovos booth. I was over there. I was talking to John, one of the designers over there at the Innovos booth, and we are waiting. He felt like and this is how fucking crazy detailed-oriented the Innovos people are with their uniforms and stuff. He didn't like, on the first version, he didn't like the stitching on the sleeve because he felt like it wasn't thick enough to match the Wrath of Khan stitching. So they are redoing it, and they're doing a second version, and he's like, as soon as the second version is ready, I will be able to get my Wrath of Khan Admiral Kirk outfit. But
When would you wear it?
I would wear it every year. I'd wear it in the Balboa.
In me?
Yeah. I'd wear it in you.
I forgot what the character was. I can't wait to have you inside me, Matt.
Yeah.
I can't wait to have you fill me up with all your Star Trek goodness.
There's a million of it.
That's how I tried to make my baby. There's 1 million. Did you hear any of it? I laid out all of the IVF to the audience.
You did?
Yes.
You did talk. I didn't know if you were going to talk about it. I've really.
Yes,
well,
Chris?
because it's a very serious thing. It's a very serious thing, and I know it's something that was really important to you guys, and I know, when you were trying. In the midst of all this too, like I could see you trying to build this family unit. You got a dog, and you were trying to. I know you were.
I got a Volvo XC90.
I mean, is the IVF process something that you would recommend to someone?
Well, I think at some point, if you can't conceive naturally, it's something you have to consider. And I was surprised when I've talked to some people who all of a sudden I'm turning around like, oh no, we did it too. There's like a lot more IVF babies than you think.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating too how many different people I know that go to the same doctor, which is fun because then we all get to talk about how terrible the jerk-off room is.
Oh, there is a jerk-off room.
Yes, Chris, and it's awful. The DVD selection. I have a picture of the Anal Titans. If anyone...
I'm good.
No.
I had a friend who was banking sperm because he and his wife at the time, like I don't know, for whatever reason they decided to like, let's build up our account or whatever. So there ain't no ATM for that.
Yeah.
So
not really making deposits, but kind of.
Right. No withdrawals. Okay, good. So he said that. He kind of said the same thing. It's really weird. It's clinical, and they kind of give you some magazines, and there's some video. I mean, it's all the thing that society tells you, like, Get out of the light! Don't do this!
It's hilarious. I play in a poker game on Tuesday nights, and one of the guys there is Doc. He's a doctor in the Valley, and his clinic, they deal with a lot of porn actors who come in who have like STDs, things like that. He deals with them. So like whenever I have come back the week from this, I was in the jerk-off room, here's the DVD covers, and he goes, let me see that. He goes, oh yeah, she's nice. I know him. Oh, that guy's got a bad case.
The most disgusting, the most weird story that I heard from my friend was he said the nurse was telling him, and they were telling this sort of as like ways, because I said, well, is there any other way? Can you bring it to them?
You can. Well, you used to be able to.
But he said that was more of a process, and he said one of the number one problems they have is getting sample cups back with lipstick on the side, like someone gave a blowjob and spit it out. They're like, you can't do that. That contaminates the sample.
That's awesome.
On that note, our guests are here. Please welcome to the stage Danny McBride and Walton Goggins.
Where do we sit? Right there.
Also, Jody Hill is here.
Jody Hill. Good to see you. Right here.
We need one more chair. I'll be right back.
Walton Goggins.
Chris Hardwick. Hey man, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm so good, man.
It's great to see you.
I've known Chris for a very long time. You guys used to date.
We did.
We did.
It was just fucking. We did for him. We did House of a Thousand Corpses together in like 2000s.
Oh, that's awesome. 2000s. Yes, it was.
And now you've seems like you've done pretty well after that, Walton Goggins.
As have you, my friend. As have you.
Things are good. Danny McBride, I saw. There was I saw you like ushered into an elevator at the hotel. There was a security detail in there, and I go to get on the elevator. They're like, "Sorry, you can't get on." And then I see you and Matt LeBeau, and they're like, "Get the fuck on here, it's fine." And then you guys all had to get off for some reason immediately. I'm like, "What did I do?" Where were you?
We've been compromised.
Out! Get him out! They throw a sheet over your head and throw you into the laundry chute. Where were you guys headed?
I have no idea. They've just been rushing us into one hotel room after the next. I feel like I'm a hostage taken somewhere. They're just moving us around to make sure we don't get caught.
Could you please hold up this newspaper?
How was your vice principal's panel today?
It was good. The moderator left a little to be desired.
Yeah, he really.
That's what everyone's been saying.
Guys, I only have 1 million sperm, okay? Normal is 80 to 120.
How out of context is that for them, Matt?
Or me, actually.
I don't
or me.
think it is at all. I think, whatever, so they can make children naturally. Go fuck themselves.
How was
Welcome to the show, guys.
How was the vice principal's panel? Did you guys reveal anything? What happened?
We were hoping just to retread the whole thing here tonight. All the same.
Was there a Bill Murray sighting? Was there
Bill Murray questions at every one of these. So
yeah,
that's a big question.
Well, because you just never he's like Candyman. Like you just don't know when he's gonna
unicorn.
It's like, oh fuck, there he is. He's at some kid's bar mitzvah. Quick, get him. You know,
he could be working the curtains right now.
You don't know. You just don't know. So what's coming up for vice principals then?
We have our next episode comes on this Sunday, and then we've shot all 18 of the whole series. So whether people like it or not, they get all of it. It doesn't really matter.
That's it. Do you like all this part of it? Do you like sort of being ushered around and all the craziness, or does it feel strange?
I'm a sweater. I sweat a lot, so I just like in all the pictures of me, I'm just like greasy and just like look drunk. Yeah.
Have you guys been out? Have you been out at any of the events at night?
Yeah, I went over to the convention today. That was pretty cool. I gotta say the fans here though, like especially with Danny and Walton, they get stopped everywhere. They're pretty awesome though. They're kind of like respectful here. They feel like true fans. In LA, you get those like double agents who you're not sure if they're a fan or the paparazzi.
Right.
I really like your work.
Sucker!
Yeah. Shit! Harvey Levin wants to know what
you think about his pool.
And then when you're like, oh shit, and you have that look on your face, and they put it on a tabloid. Danny McBride is furious. You're like, I just didn't. Walton Goggins and Danny McBride can't be in the same room together. Like, what are you creating? I always feel like the tabloids are basically a print reality show for people who would never be on a reality show. Like, they've created these, you know, it's such a strange time that we're living in. How do you guys are you on, you're still on Twitter, right? Have you quit yet?
No, I was never on Twitter. On Instagram.
I thought you were on
just
Instagram.
Yeah. They're just a picture. You know, a picture says 1,000 words, but that's it. That's my only. I mean, I have a Facebook page that I haven't looked at in maybe 10 years, or 8 years, maybe 7 years, and I have an alternative Facebook page that I actually open to just communicate with like the 20 friends that I have in the world, called Wily Goat or something like that, and I haven't looked at that in 7 years. So it's really just Instagram for me. That's it. I mean, but it is real. It's Walton Goggins bona fide, so it's real. Bona fide means real, authentic. That's what that means. I'm bona fide. I just woke up from a disco nap, Chris.
What was your
like? Literally, I had. Man, I'm tired, man. I need a shot of tequila.
Is that gonna help
right now?
I think we can get.
Can we get Walton a shot? Can we get Walton to do?
I'll take one too.
Can we get Walton to do like 9 shots and just watch him unravel?
You know, how do you deal with talking all day? Like, it's a lot of talking.
Can I be honest with you? That's a really good question, and I really do. When I go home, I really do shut down, and I have to make a conscious decision to not be inconsiderate to my fiance, because I'm so engaged and so focused all day on pretty much everything that, you know, sometimes I'll come home and, you know, she'll say like, oh, this happened, or there was a problem with this, and I have to say like, no problems, just give me a minute, you know, but that's not fair to her. So I have to really figure out a way to just decompress, and I'm really starting to think meditation might be a good thing to do. To shut
it is.
You know, to really just focus and kind of shut it all down. How do you process it?
I just come home and knock my wife around.
Try to take it out on her. Yeah, for sure.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
No, when we're in the writer's room, I mean, we like...
Oh, that's not the real answer. Okay, good, yeah.
But I've tried it. It didn't work. She knocked me back, and it was But when we write, we just get into such a weird trance of just sitting in this room, going over index cards, staring at these characters' names cross-eyed, and I'll come home and try to talk to Gia, or she'll try to talk to me, and then my head's still spinning. I'm still trying to figure out, what does Lee Russell wear to school the next day? And I can't answer any requests. I'm never present, so I have to work on that too. Maybe we'll both do meditation.
We'll just stare at each other the whole time.
Figuring out stuff.
I actually think the best person you can hang out with after work, when you think about it, is someone from work, because neither one of you want to say a fucking thing. You're just like, you're just like, hey man, I can be in the room with you and just like not say anything for 4 hours. I won't ask you one question.
Well, I bought I'm putting a small arcade in my house, and I bought a show. There was one cabinet has like 80s games, another cabinet has 90s games. And the guy I bought them from was like, there's like thousands of games, and this guy goes, well, I have this 4-player showcase cabinet. And it was too big for my house, so I bought it for at midnight, just thinking like, well, maybe the writers need to come down and decompress and kind of like play games with each other to kind of deal with it. So maybe, you know.
And now there's a sign on that arcade cabinet that says, this arcade cabinet will be off during the show tapings. Because we were all just like staring at people play.
Well, I feel like we're in this new, oh, wow.
Thank you, Debbie.
You're amazing.
Jonah! Get that man!
Wow.
I feel like Don Julio.
This is good.
Okay.
I feel like we're in this era that we're in now. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey, Deb.
Yes.
By the way, I want to credit Debbie Wonder, who books the guests for our podcast, and also books Nerdist, and also Deb does such an amazing job. So when you hear a guest on the podcast, how the fuck did I get that person? She got that person. So, and Deb, now that everyone has alcohol, can I have a sparkling water, please? Thank you.
Oh man,
that was just to butter you up for a fucking Perrier.
No, it wasn't. But I think it's
Hey, Chris, I know it's been 11 years, but do you want a shot of tequila?
It's been 13. Tequila was one of the last things that I ever got drunk on. Tequila was one of the last things, and it just was. There we go. Oh, there it is. There it is. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah! Clarity.
Fuck, man.
Oh, it's hard going down.
I think that's.
It's funny because it's water.
It's water, yeah. People are listening who are like, oh my God, did he just break 13 years of sobriety? On the pod? If I were going to do it, I should do it on the podcast.
I'm sure Marin will.
You know, it's funny. I was with Pardo, Barrett, Marin. I think we were shooting the All-Star Celebrity Bowling Show, and we were kind of joking with each other, like, if we started again, like right now, how long before our lives were worse than they were before? And everyone was like, oh, 3 weeks. Like everyone just like knew that it would take 3 weeks to get back to that place. But this is the era of the content creator, and I feel like there's a renaissance for people like you who create the stuff that you're in, and you're all responsible for almost every facet of it. Do you like that, or do you long for an era where it's like, I kind of want to just show up and just be an actor?
I like those jobs too. Those are definitely nice. But with this, after Eastbound, HBO just wanted to know what we wanted to do next. Thank you. And the idea of just writing a complete story and not having to see how it's received and see if you need to drag the story out, the idea of just telling one story and having an ending when you start, it just seemed like it was something cool to try out.
Yeah. I just add that it's also, I've written by myself plenty of times, and but to write with a partner is there's something about that where I think if we were all lone wolves, it might be difficult to do this kind of thing by yourself. But the fact that there's a group of us, it makes it easier. There's a series of checks and balances to the quality.
There's accountability.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But also a sounding board too when you're with people that you trust.
And the support system, they'll tell you that's good because I don't know if something's good or not that I've written or whatever directed until one of my buddies is like, oh, that's cool, that one sucks.
Have you two ever had a huge disagreement over a joke that you loved and Danny didn't?
We've had arguments.
Oh, thank you, Katie.
I mean, I guess we've had disagreements, but we've never I don't think we've never had a personal fight or anything about that.
All the guys we work with, we've all worked together since film school, and I think we're just I don't think any of us are precious enough to ever really get pissed off. And then it's also oh, Jody doesn't want me to say that, I'll just say it anyway. Watch that.
But what's interesting about being around these guys, when I showed up in Charleston, the very first time we kind of went down to do a wardrobe fitting or whatever, we all went out to dinner, and you're surrounded by 30 guys, and we all went out to dinner, all 30 of us, and then you realize that that's Danny, and that's Jody, and that's David Gordon Green, and then there's the editor, Jeff Siebenik, who edits the show. He went to college with him. This guy went to college. Literally, you're surrounded by this group of people that all went through this experience together. And you get the feeling that if you say one crossword, they will fucking kill you. It's you're surrounded by a bunch of dudes who have been friends for a very long time, and then then they accept you into the group, and then you're.
Did you feel extra intimidated by that?
Extremely intimidated. Look, there's not a gathering of 30 anybody where I wouldn't be intimidated, and they're a tight knit group, and they all went to film school, and they all do different things on the things that they collaborate on. And it's really funny, man, that they have this kind of history, because they all add their voice to it, and they're all respected, and they have this history, and it's unique to roll with that many people, guys. I mean, really.
Did you think about finding the toughest one and hitting him over the head?
Keep in mind we met at film school. These are not
take out the toughest film school guy.
Yeah, we went to art school.
Could tie their shoelaces together.
Hey, don't fuck with this.
That one could run a mile without stopping. Hit him.
None of them can do that. None of them can do that.
One of the fun things about watching you and what's happened on these last 15, 16 years is you're one of those guys that when I say who's on the podcast, I go, all these people on the band, and Walton Goggins, I fucking love that guy. Like you make all these really interesting choices, to work on Justified, but then to do something like this. I mean, these are the kind of choices, though. These are the kind of choices that I think make for a well-rounded career that will last, because you don't just do one thing. So was it a conscious decision to work on a show like this, or how did the opportunity come up?
It is tough. It's tough. It's tough because you anybody in this business who kind of starts out and has any longevity will tell you inevitably if you're Italian, you're going to play a mobster. I mean, that's just what it is, when you first kind of get into this town. Or if you're from the South, you're going to play a redneck. Or if you're going to do, whatever that is.
Or if you're from the South, you're going to be replaced by a British person.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, I know Sean Ryan. I'll never forget this. Sean Ryan, the creator of I couldn't believe this dude. He after The Shield, 7 years of working with this guy. I heard the first interview I heard with him after The Shield he literally said, "Well, I'm having to the next show that he cast. I'm having to look to England for my leading men because there just aren't any men in America anymore." And I said, "Who are you talking to, motherfucker?"
Yeah.
Wait a second. No, I mean, it was.
Men have had a bad time.
But I mean, because you come from, this, and I think you graduate from a place of just being ferried around from room to room, and it's like, well, this is what you do, and this is what you do, to the point where actually people want to hear what you have to say, and I think when you get that power, that it's best to use it wisely, and to do something different every single time if you get a chance to.
Yeah, but first of all, Bryan Cranston said the exact same thing, and he kind of has that thing too, where people are like, wow, and that's also part of that interesting thing. But how do you make, and this is for all of you guys, how do you make decisions? It's so easy to make ego-based decisions, and there are so many things that play to your ego that you could take a role because of some reason, like, oh, you should really do this because of this other dumb, rather than I really just want to do this thing.
But you know what? So then I'll say this. I'll say that's like living your life based on a calculation, and it's like to live your life in that way, then you're just trying to get to this place that happens to be all the way out here. I've never lived my life that way. I really genuinely pick things based on the material, and regardless if it's a day of working on something or 6 months of working on something, it's irrelevant to me. And when you get the opportunity to work with these guys, I would have worked with them for a day, for one episode kind of coming in, because I'm a big fan, and I would have fucking killed it. You can bet that. For sure, I would have killed it. But the opportunity kind of came to work with them in a real way, in a real meaningful way, and there was no calculation. There was no, what does this mean for my career? Like, what can I get with Danny McBride and Jody Hill? This would be a great one.
Walton Goggins bona fide.
But it was really about these guys are artists, that care about story more than anything else, and that's the only thing that I've ever back to working with Rob Zombie, man. He was an artist. He is an artist, and it was like I just want to work with people that actually have something that they really want to say. And if you follow your heart, then success will follow, man. You'll get a chance to really sit at tables where people want to listen to you.
I mean, oh yes, of course. That is an applause moment.
Anyway,
and then hello, Julio.
I have not given up, Chris. I'm kidding.
For Danny and for Jody, I always feel like you guys are in a club that sort of operates outside the business, and because it feels like you get to do what you want to do. And how did you make that happen? How did you achieve that?
That's a good question. I mean, I think we're always just waiting for the day the door closes and they're like, you can't do what you want to do anymore. It's like with every chance we get, we always just kind of look at what are we seeing out there, and let's just do whatever is the opposite of that. With the stories we tell, we like to start these stories from characters that you would not usually start the story with. With Vice Principals, Lee and Gamby, those are the villains of the story. The principal is the hero, and but that story's boring. You've seen it. It's called Lean on Me, and this is.
Yeah, finally someone's taking that movie down a peg.
But I mean, like that it is just like taking something you've seen before.
They used to call me Crazy Joe.
Finally, but it's just like this is a story that you've seen before. You've seen the educator that comes into a situation and turns things around, but you've never seen the story of the two assholes who try to stop them from doing that. Right. And so we're like, well, that seems like something that I would go see. I haven't seen that before, and for better or worse, that's weirdly how we sort of follow our gut. We just try to do the different version of what people want to see, I guess.
Yeah, because honestly, we've had probably, at least financially, critic maybe debatable, but we've had probably more failures than we have success, and we just happened to get lucky with Eastbound, and it connected with people, and we've had the opportunity to create our own things, which I guess it started at, like, we kind of established that with Foot Fist Way, and at least my mindset is like, ride that wave. If I have kids one day and owe a bunch of money to get them through college, I mean, I guess I would take a director for hire job, but I figure like try to ride it as long as we can and just make weird stuff,
Yeah, and I think that's
Don't have kids, Jody. You're gonna be good.
And it's over. That's right. Yeah.
But $1 million sounds like a lot.
That's what I said to the doctor. The doctor calls me up,
what's
guys.
going on? I don't know what's going on.
Matt's wife.
I'm having the IVF with my wife, right? We're trying to get a baby, at least one.
Right.
Knock on wood, we got 4 embryos, am I right?
That's not wood.
Oh, shit. But so I didn't know, I got the phone call from my urologist, and he's like, okay, Matt, we got your results. Just want to let you know, your sperm count's 1 million. And I'm like, fuck yeah,
That's a lot,
$1 million
right?
of anything is awesome. If I had $1 million, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And he's like, just so you know, normal is 80 to 120 million.
You got dumb cum.
The dumbest. The dumbest.
Maybe that saved you a few times in your life.
You know what? Oh, fuck yeah.
You know what's got to be crazy about that? Think about all the times in your life up to there you're like, oh my God, what if I got that person pregnant? And it was almost impossible.
Yeah, well, that's why I said to my wife.
You never had to stress all those times.
That's why I said to my wife, I was like, honey, you haven't gotten pregnant yet. It's not you.
Yeah.
Trust me. So it was me. Anyway, that's where we're at, guys.
Turn around.
Yeah.
Good luck, man.
Thank you, guys. I
believe in your sperm. I believe.
Thank you.
I believe in them.
I'm gonna have them
Little
play
fellas.
that sound
This may
clip
be the
in my
tequila
Believe in your sperm.
Let's see it. Let's fire $1 million out here right now. Let's see how that
Fire
works.
$1 million out.
1, 2, 3. Fuck, I lost count. 1, 2, 3. Achoo. Oh, God damn it. But I think what's so inspirational about it is that
Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend.
Oh my God.
But I do think, but legitimately,
This is awesome. No, what's weird about, I was literally dead. I was dead asleep 15 minutes ago. No, I mean, I was.
He was. I was like, Walton, where the fuck are you?
what have you guys been? So you had the panel.
Wait, here.
Have you guys been just doing nonstop press all day?
Well, I mean, it gets back to that the conversation about conversations with people, and I think, I don't know. I think for a lot of people in the entertainment business or even outside of it, if you expend that amount of energy during the day, then you need just as much time alone. If you're out in the public or interfacing with people for 10 hours a day, God, I mean, I need at least 6 hours alone by myself just to kind of refuel.
Yeah. But also, I think and it's not their fault, but sort of the monotony of press junket. They only have a couple minutes with you guys, so you're gonna get the same top level questions.
But don't you feel that that's lame though? I mean, like we went to the hall today, the Comic-Con, and you're surrounded by people. I mean, I know it for these guys. I mean, I don't know you guys too well. Yeah. But
you know a lot about that.
I mean, but these are extremely.
I'm about to pop a million.
Yeah. 1 point. But these are extremely. I mean, we're pretty. I mean, I know we're pretty personal guys, and just to be in the hall and you just have to like sign and kind of pass, sign and pass, sign and pass, and that's. I mean, even that's hard because you just want to like hang out and talk to people.
Right.
A little bit, but you don't get the chance.
Just the numbers of it, it's just
exactly.
It's unfortunately not possible,
Exactly.
and that's sort of what has to happen. But I think, you do want to have real connections with people, but there's just so much. It's particularly at Comic-Con. There's so much, and you're never going to see everything.
Yeah.
And I always feel like at Comic-Con I'm either missing something or late for something, and you'll never take all of it in. Have you gotten to walk around the floor at all?
I just got here this morning. Yeah. So and I leave tomorrow morning. So I haven't. But I mean, I've been here before, so I've gotten a chance to walk around.
Yeah. Do you walk around at all, Danny?
I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old at home, so this trip is really just like I can sleep in till 9 without someone punching me in the nuts at 7.
That's usually his wife.
You tell everyone you knocked me around. How fucking funny is that? So how are you? You guys are done now. You're done. Is it all done now?
This is it. Yeah. Right. We're done.
Yeah. I mean, we're done. I mean, really, Danny?
We're not done in life.
Are we done? Are we done?
You mean in terms of Comic-Con or in terms
of vice principals?
We wrote a complete story. It has an ending that it has a beginning, a middle, and end. It's all done, and so I think we are. I think there's something cooler about just coming up with another story. I mean, there's so much out there competing for people's attention. I just think it's boring to just retread the same shit over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I have a question. I have a question for you guys, and you have done it. And what's really interesting, Quentin does it, and he has this stable of people, and Paul Thomas Anderson, and a lot of these filmmakers kind of have this stable. But you guys have this with Craig. And I would imagine with Will and with me,
Michael Payne.
You have with me, but I mean you have a stable of actors that you have worked with several times that they kind of come back. That's pretty cool. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels great, Walton. You'll.
You're this close to me.
You were almost there.
But do you like that? I mean, you like that. You like to be like.
Swear to God, if you fucking ask me about it, he's out. Yeah.
We, when we, like this show, for instance, we shot, it was almost, 7 months we shot. We wrote for a year, and we shot for 7 months, and the interview process for every job, whether it's an actor or a writer, it really comes down to, like, are they an asshole? Can we hang out with them for that long or not? Yeah. And so we love to just surround ourselves with people that we get along with and that are nice and treat people good, so that after all that time, you don't walk away, like, hating someone. And we've been very lucky that with Walton, with guys like Steve Little or Will Ferrell or Craig Robinson, all these guys are really good people and they're fun to work with. So we'd love the opportunity to do it again.
P.S. Sure. Craig Robinson is fucking great on Mr. Robot right now. I mean, do you want to do more dramatic stuff at some point? Like really?
I just finished Alien Covenant 2 weeks ago.
Whoa!
And like everyone I talk to is like, "Oh, are you making jokes and you get killed?" And I'm like, "No, there is no jokes in this movie at all." Right. But people do get killed right and left. It was weird to be on a movie like that. I've never been on a movie where people just get straight killed in the movie. You start the film with like 20 people going to dinner at night, and then each week it's like less and less and less. Like, oh, they went home. They got killed.
I think that our show starts out funny, like more maybe traditional, and as the 2 seasons go on, I think that it's going to work it like towards drama and darkness and these kind of crazy things, and even more so than Eastbound, which I think had a lot of shades of this. I think this goes to places that it's going to be kind of hard to tell the difference between the drama and the comedy. And besides that, we just finished a movie it's funny, but it's much more of a drama than this one. That I think. I think you'll see a full crazy range from Danny. It's gonna be great.
Well, we don't really even, I think, categorize our stuff as just
genres,
straight comedy.
whatever. Yeah.
Anyway, it's like we honestly weirdly write them as if they are dramas with dick jokes in them.
Yeah,
that's it.
They're essentially character pieces.
Yeah, and so I think in a weird way, it is like I don't know, to think that a comedy or a drama can't venture into some territory, that it has to be exclusive to each. It kind of feels limiting. So I think even in this, Walton does some of the most dramatic, strange stuff I've ever seen anyone do in the show, and I think it goes beyond anything that I've seen in a comedy before. And I can't wait for you guys to see it. It's very weird and disturbing.
I saw the first. I just want to say I saw the first 2 episodes. Danny obviously is hilarious because we've all seen him be hilarious, but Walton genuinely surprised me with how fucking engagingly hilarious you are in this show. Yeah. It's just. Walton is I just cannot wait for you guys to see the second episode, which is tomorrow. It's great.
We actually have about 15 minutes, so I want to answer a couple of questions, fan questions. If you guys are game for it, there's a question in the front row. What is your name?
Oh, wow. Megan.
What's your question?
One, I'm really upset I left Hall H to come here because you told me all the stuff I missed, and that's sad.
Well,
I missed Marvel to come here.
you were going to find out sooner or later anyway, so you're welcome.
In that room all day already.
Okay. Well, I didn't spoil everything.
This still sounds like it's on you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm here to see you.
You could have taken the pedicab with Chris.
Yeah, that's right.
But I came here early because, whatever.
That's all right. You seem happy about it, though. Do you want to... do you have a question?
Yeah, no, I do.
Okay. What's your question?
I just really love you, a lot. And Walton Goggins. And
whoa, wait a second. Whoa, what's happening right now? Hold on.
Side note, fuck you, Danny McBride.
Hey.
Fuck your face.
I don't like how you started this off anyway. This Hall H shit.
This is my boss.
Every time my sister asks me when I bought something, I'll say, I got it when I was a prostitute. When you say that in... What was that movie?
Oh, you're a fan. Oh, okay.
Pineapple Express. That's what it's from. Anyway, you were on my 2 favorite shows just ever. Sons of Anarchy and Justified.
Oh, thank you.
And I just want to know how great
she
it was
loves
to be
FX.
on those 2 shows. Yeah, pretty much. I just want to know, how great it was to be on those 2 shows. Because they're so big. They're such, big, cult followings.
Boyd would say, hey, Venus. Hey, Boyd. Yeah. You know what? I love both of them. Equally. They both mean a great deal to me, and Venus just made me look at the world differently. When you look at it from a woman's perspective, and you look at it from the marginalized among us, and you kind of see how difficult day to day is for them. It really kind of changed me. And Boyd Crowder is very close to me. I mean, I'm poor and I'm from the South, and my greatest goal in life was to wind up on the Chris Hardwick Nerdist podcast.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But it was a glass ceiling that very few people break through, and then you're here.
We're a dream factory. We're a dream factory here at the Nerdist podcast. Also, Thor dies in the next. I'm kidding. Kidding. He doesn't die. He's a god. What are you talking about? You were going to find that stuff out on the internet anyway. You just got an abridged version of it here. How great. Oh, you're trying to get a selfie? A picture? Okay. What's happening? All right. Sorry, I licked your head.
Moose.
What is your question?
So I love the first episode. Walton, you do a great Southern accent, and Danny, I guess you don't.
What's the process of doing that, Walton?
Good actor. Walton, answer.
Walton is from the South. He's a Southern boy.
And Danny, I guess you don't do accents. I don't know where it takes place. That's fine. My question is.
You're real perceptive, bro.
I mean, it goes with the humor. It's great. It's awesome. But my question is, can we get a shot of tequila?
No, we can't give you tequila. I came down here for that.
No, my real question is, how amazing was it to work with Bill Murray, and was he one of your idols growing up?
He is. He's an incredible idol. And luckily, I was able to work with him in 2 very much loved films, Aloha and Rock the Casbah, which everyone loved. And but I met him there.
Casbah?
He's amazing. He's incredible. We were lucky to have him.
Bye, Chris.
What? No,
He
I
left.
just.
Let's give it up for Chris pulling focus Hardwick, everybody.
Sorry. You were talking about Bill Murray. I'm sorry. I was just harassing some kids. You had a question.
All right, Walton, first off, I know you're from Alabama. Is it Roll Tide or Go Dogs?
Well, I mean, wow, whoa.
Be careful. Shit, answer very carefully. There are two snipers in the roof.
Oh, shit.
You're getting shot, but it's just which direction.
Like, I guess the Roll Tide side of me would have just been a year old, so I don't know how much he watched football. I actually moved to Georgia, to Atlanta, when I was a year old.
Can I ask one more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All of you guys do so much, and it's for young people that are coming up in entertainment and things. Entertainment now has become a level where you don't have to be just an actor, just a director, just a producer. And Chris, you do so many shows. How do you guys focus and bring 100% on every project you do?
I personally don't do that many projects, so like, you guys are laughing, but I'm actually kind of serious. One thing at a time. I don't know.
Oh my God!
And even then, like 80%.
I mean, I give them 100%, but it's just one every couple of years.
Danny, what do you have an answer for that?
You just, I don't know. You find the energy for it. If you really enjoy what you're doing, you figure out how to get yourself there and how to show up awake if you really like it. So always choose things you enjoy.
Yeah, the thought of failing in front of a huge audience is pretty scary. So you try to at least make it not suck.
Right now.
No, you know what? I'm going to jump in here really quickly. You, because you ask a serious question and demands a serious answer. Walk in and be the most prepared person in the room. You know what I mean? Give your 100%, not because nobody's looking. You give 100% because no one isn't looking. And you walk in and that preparation will meet with success on whatever level it does. And even if it doesn't, you will get something from it that will serve you in ways that you know not.
I mean, walking into the Hateful Eight cast for you.
You know what, man? I mean, that's been my whole life, man. And I know these guys. I mean, Danny and Jody and I have talked about this. My mother made $12,000 a year, man. I mean, I grew up on the other side of the tracks in Atlanta, Georgia.
You do a great Southern accent.
Hey, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Right. Yeah. I mean, you do. You work. You work hard, man. That's what you do. Every single day. And I remember the very first time, kind of after Django, even after Django, like sitting there having to be at the Hateful Eight at like 11 o'clock kind of table read, and like just sitting there looking at everybody kind of in that room before I walked in, and it was like, fuck, man, I can't walk in that room, and I just kind of exhaled before I walked in, and I said, on my worst fucking day. And then you walk in and you just do it because I read the story. I know his material. I mean, I read it 100 times before we even did it. Whether I got it or whether I didn't get it, it was irrelevant. I got to say his words in front of him. And that's how I felt about these guys the first time I met them. I think that the young generation today are so occupied with missing the 6 steps that you need in order to build a foundation to have a really meaningful life. Do you know what I mean by that? It's like you start here, and it doesn't mean you necessarily get here. You start here, and you just focus on getting to the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. I mean, for me, I've been doing this for 25 years. I'm the dude who came to Los Angeles with $300 in his pocket, and
braggart.
Yeah. 7 million sperm strong. I'm just saying. Boom, a 5-year-old, Augustus Somerset Goggins, and I stopped there on my decision.
Can I just jump in here? 7 million's actually not a lot. It's like 80 or 120.
485
but it's okay. It's okay.
Million.
But it's more than one.
795 million.
It's more than one. And just really quickly, if I can jump in on your answer too. Comic-Con's sort of a microcosm of what my life is, and people say, how do you manage all the panels and how do you manage everything? I basically just
I just live in today. You know, I know tomorrow, tomorrow I'm doing 2 panels and I'm just not thinking about them yet. I kind of know what they are and I'll deal with it. I'll deal with tomorrow, I guess, you know? So I don't take it all on at once. I think that's kind of a way to go about it. Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Good. What's your question?
Hey, this question is for Jody Hill and Mr. McBride. Daniel, if I may.
Yes.
Curious.
Daniel Richard.
Big heroes. This is like a dream come true to be talking to you guys or whatever. I'm going to puke, I think. But I was curious to know if you guys had one character that you may have modeled after somebody who you know in real life in any of your TV shows or movies, maybe Eastbound and Down in particular.
I think there are like 2 or 3 guys that Jody and I know that we model almost everything we do after. But we cannot tell you who it is because they cannot know that we're doing it.
But we'll literally, we'll be on set and we'll be like, I think it needs a little more, I don't know, Earl. It needs a little more Earl. Give it a little more Earl. And then they'll like it. Danny totally knows what that means and just starts doing it.
But it is. There's and it's also like a lot of guys that we grew up with. You know, Jody and I we went to art school. We were both we weren't your typical guys growing up in the South, and so I think in some ways Kenny Powers and some of these characters we represent are guys that we that might have fucked with us when we were younger.
Yeah.
And now we embody them.
Yeah, we've never played baseball. We don't follow baseball. Any of that stuff.
Are there time for one more question?
Hey, so as much as I really want to ask a question to Danny about how he feels about having Channing Tatum as a gimp, my question is directed at all of you. So I was here last night and Dan Harmon was here in the Balboa. And to make his money worth, he literally stripped down to his underwear and started rapping about poison ivy at the Comic-Con and just a lot of profanity. So I'm just wondering what you guys are going to do to make up to that.
What? We have to top Dan Harmon stripping down and rapping to Poison Ivy?
Honey, there's not enough tequila on this table.
Yeah, we drank Don Julio. I mean, you guys didn't have any, but we did.
Wait, one more question.
Hey, this is for Danny. I think your entrance in This Is the End was like one of the best moments in comedy in like the last, I don't know how long. I like died when I saw that, and so I'm curious, like, what was that like writing or filming and all that? I just thought that was like so brilliant of like a scene, and I'm curious about it.
Seth and Evan wrote that film, and they had talked about that movie for a few years. Like when we were on Pineapple Express, they were talking about how they wanted to make that film, and it was just something where I didn't ever really think that would be a movie somebody would make, and they sent me the script, and it was like, first of all, it was like, oh, this is incredible. And then it was like, this is what they think of me? They think I would do that? But it was awesome. That movie was hands down one of the best times I've ever had doing anything. Those guys are so much fun, and it was awesome. Like, and when you came down to that set, I had some buddies who were like working on the crew, and they're like, oh, you better come prepared. Franco is fucking lighting Jonah up. Everything's on the board, and so you just had to come ready to have all your failures thrown at you. It was almost therapy. It was good.
Well, I want to hugely thank you guys for being here. I know you had a crazy long day. It's always fun. I wish we could catch up in life. We always catch up on podcasts.
We will.
But a huge hand for Walton Goggins and Danny McBride and Jody Hill. And that's going to do it for us on the Nerdist Podcast on the early show. I want to thank you guys so much. I'm sorry you missed the Marvel panel. I apologize for being late. I did the best I could to get here as quickly as possible. But have a wonderful night. Be nice to each other. Enjoy your burrito. Thanks for coming, everyone.
Now leaving Nerdist.com. Enjoy your burrito.
This episode is sponsored by CISO, the all-comedy ad-free streaming TV service made for the serious comedy nerd. Watch a bunch of things that you love already. SNL, Monty Python, and then other stuff that you probably know about, or maybe you don't know about yet, like Harmon Quest, which is an improv animated live-action journey in world of fantasy role-playing with Dan Harmon, Spencer Crittenden, Aaron McGathy, Jeff B. Davis. Go check it out. CISO. You get 2 months free if you use the promo code HarmonQuest. That's an extra month on top of the already free trial. Thanks to CISO for sponsoring this podcast.